whoa, that's a lot louder than I expected. Okay. The game volume itself should be a lot quieter than this. We'll see. I'll adjust the volume if I need to. So, hello, I'm Milo. May is over, but the Mermaid hashtag streams are not over. Good grief. Hold on a second. Why is that so much louder than it was? Okay, well, we'll work it out as we go. Yeah, so, hope you're doing well. I am still in the Little Mermaid kick. And today's game is the Little Mermaid 2 licensed game. Now, a while back I played The Lion King Simba's Mighty Adventure on PlayStation, which is, you know, around the same time. And much like that game, this one adapts the first two movies, both the original animated classic and the direct-to-video sequel. And yeah, this one is the same. So what is going on here? Treasure chest. Telescope, view film clips. Yes, we'll have unlockable footage from the films. The snarf blood, this must be a sound test. Human stuff. Right. Sound options as well. Treasure trove. Which one of these is game? So this one says load save game, yeah, so I guess the treasure trove is an unlockable thing, but then you... Okay. So, Scuttle's Nest, let's play the game. I must have been through this before. I briefly played this game on my Little Mermaid mega stream ages ago. And now it's too loud again. Crazy. Alright. It's probably too soft. If you're listening and if you can chat in real time, then let me know how the audio balance is and if I need to adjust it. Because I've got some little dials, graphs here, but it's a bit harder to use my ears for that. Right, so how's everyone doing? Hope you're staying safe. Very nice. Okay, how does this go? Yes. Is that... Could it be? Is that Comic Sans? Comic Sans is fine. Okay, so when does this take place? This is what we always wonder when we play Fourth Wall Breaks. Lovely. Okay. Thanks for the info. Yeah, whenever we play a Little Mermaid game. A lot of voice work in this game. Sure. Let's do it. Oh, right. She doesn't let me through until I've got the comb. So, what are our options? Attack. Tail flip. Fast. Makes us fasto. And shock. A kind of magical wave of energy. Now we've seen Ariel have magic singing powers in other video games. And magic bubble powers. This is just another one of her many magical powers, I guess, innate to her mermaid nature. Yes, let's. I guess Scuttle's screen was just quiet. It seems fine now. I'm probably going to get a copyright claim on this video, aren't I? Part of your world, it's the best. It's the best song. Okay, so we've been presented with 2 fetch quests up front. Whoa. Okay, so standing still and attack, tail flip, attack while moving, spinning whirl, love it. Let me in. Guess I need key or something. Yeah. So yeah, I did briefly play it during the big old Mermaid stream where I started with Mega Drive Little Mermaid. This is years ago. And then I did a little tour of other games for the franchise. But today I'm giving it a proper go. I'm going to complete it. And hopefully it doesn't take too long. I love how bored she sounds. Okay. So why was her bag in a locked chest? I'm gonna guess it was confiscated by Triton, and so she's just snuck in and stole it right from under his nose. And we're gonna use it classic style. Grab some human stuff. Human stuff. Hang on a second, I saw that pearl. Is this gonna be 100% run? Oh! Whatever, dude. No one may leave at all. That's right, it was inside the saxophone or whatever, wasn't it? Okay, I needed to see that other dialogue to trigger this one. I tried that before, you bozo. That's a very garish ring. Now we can load some music. Invisible loading screens that make you think the game has crashed. Love it. That's really soft now. It's barely registering on my audio gigamatron. Since I can barely hear it, I am going to skip it. Yes, let's play. No, let's not play. We need to return the ring. Then we can go play.
Oh, and remember, Ariel, stay away from the surf.
That's got to be Kenneth Mars, surely. Although, to be fair, whoever took over for him in 2008 for Little Mermaid 3 Ariel's Beginning actually did a decent job. Kenneth Mars was unable to reprise his role in that film due to illness. But I don't remember who did the voice off the top of my head. It wasn't D. Bradley Baker, was it? Okay. So from here, I have the option of returning to the title screen or play Shipwreck Graveyard, which I will do. Beautiful. Oh yeah, it was Jim Cummings. There you go. The guy's an oral chameleon. He can do all kinds of voices. Speaking of voices, it's nice that so many of the actors reprised their roles for the sequel, and indeed for this game as well. I don't actually have a complete list here, but yeah, a lot of the lead characters retain the same actors, with the notable exception of Flounder. I believe the actor for Flounder was actually a young boy for the first movie, and then it was a different young boy for the series, the animated series, and then someone else for the sequel. I think Cam Clark did it at one point. So I'm not sure who it is in this game. Yes, watch out for sharks, but get the coins. Where is Sebastian anyway? Maybe she's hiding in it. Maybe he's hiding in Ariel's hair like he did in one scene? No. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of when he was hiding in Triton's beard, actually. Oh my. Okay, I was using the D-pad, but actually analog stick is much better for this. Free swimming. Since the game supports it, you know. Let me just check if it is actually free or if it's 8 directional. Seems like I can rotate at arbitrary angles. That's nice. It's very good. Ooh, a star. Okay, I will do. Yeah. Oh. Cool stuff. Interaction with your environment. Now that is nice. Checking for hidden things. Oh. A naughty little nipper. Hey, get owned, Sonny. Yeah, well. I have so many notes left over from Little Mermaid stuff, but I'm gonna just give the game a little time to breathe first. Ooh.
I wonder what this is.
So this is adapting a scene from the film then. The context was a little different at the start. I feel like Sebastian wouldn't have been so free about letting her go off if the concert was imminent. Okay, so now I have a spoon. Aha, the dingle hopper.
I don't like this. Lounge, relax. Nothing's going to happen.
Famous last words. Okay, now we use the speed up button. Ah, where's that anchor ring thing? There it is.
Flounder, you really are a guppy.
That's funny because in the animated series he is literally a guppy. That is his species. They kind of use it as a metaphorical kind of thing in the movie. As a kind of insult or friendly insult. Eric! The compression not too good for this, but it still looks good. Yeah, it's a classic. In fact, I think The Little Mermaid is the point when people consider the Disney Renaissance to have begun, when they started putting out top tier quality movies after several years of maybe not exactly classics. It's when you start getting things like Lion King and Aladdin and, you know, all those other ones. Mulan. Yeah, I will save Prince Eric, but first there's coins to collect. Ouch. Okay. We can't actually go down too far. Give them sweet coins. I did miss some in the last level. I guess I skipped a room or something. Ooh.
Hurry, Ariel. We have to save Prince. Ouch!
What? That's the face from the statue. That implies that the statue's already been blown up, which doesn't happen until a couple of scenes from now. Because first she has to save him and then be all moony over him, and then Sebastian sings Under the Sea. And then she sneaks off. Flounder shows her the statue, and then Triton blows it up, and then you get the face. Hey Gibbon, how's it going? I've just been going for 15 minutes? That doesn't sound right. I better go through my notes faster then. Well, let me tell you something. This game was created by Blitz Games, a UK-based studio. In their history, there's a lot of Disney games and other licensed stuff. They even assisted on Epic Mickey 2, and I think that's one of the last things they did before shutting down, I believe. They also worked on they worked on a couple of big franchises. They're responsible for Frogger 2, Swampy's Revenge, which is like the first big rebrand of Frogger. It was still a kind of action maze, not maze, but like, you know, jump past the cars and stuff. But it was in 3D graphics and stuff, and it introduced new characters. It's even got Frogger's lady friend as a playable character, and there's a Game Boy Color version as well, which I'm thinking of playing on stream one day. They also created Pac-Man World 3, which is part of the popular 3D platformer subline of Pac-Man games. And Ms. Pac-Man Maze Madness, which I played on stream, is sort of a companion piece to those, but in a slightly more traditional style. Or, well, it's a modernization of the Maze game style, which is really interesting. Ursula doesn't scare me. Okay, why would I do that though? Is that a requirement that Ursula has for me? And how do you know that, Sebastian? Okay, new theory. Sebastian is in league with Ursula. He's just feigning sympathy the whole time, but he's really trying to undermine Triton. Which throws those episodes of the animated series into a new light. Wow. He's totally annoying Triton, and Triton's getting mad at him. Gosh, he's so annoying. I'm going to repeat it once again, because it's still true. But Sebastian is the Olaf of Little Mermaid. And the more screen time he has, the more annoying he is. Oh, wow. Kathy's back there holding up our cat over her head. Holding her up high so that she can catch a fly. What's that? I missed some potion bottles, so I have to backtrack. Is that what they're telling me? I didn't see any. Guess I gotta play better. Gibbon says that's an excellent game library they've got behind them. Yeah, I forget, because you're a Frogger fan, but what's your thoughts on Frogger 2 Swampy's Revenge exactly? Ugh, stupid vents. Because you really don't have much horizontal or vertical... Sorry, you don't have much vertical room in this game to play with. Down here? Aha, secret cavern. Okay, good, good. So that's one potion bottle. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, there you go. I wasn't really looking. As for this game, there's a few people who worked on it, but the core, sort of the team leads, I would say, were Ian Bird and Tahir Rashid, who were in charge of the different creative departments. So there we go, there's our potions. Just got to be more careful about the vents on the way back. Yeah, so the comparisons to The Lion King, Simba's Mighty Adventure are interesting. on PlayStation that was very much a Crash Bandicoot clone, which was interesting. But then there was the Game Boy Color version as well, of course, and I played both on the stream, and that was more a basic platformer kind of thing in the 2D style, of course. But it also had the FMV footage from the films in between, so this game is very much in the same mold as that. Although with a key difference, there was a Game Boy Color companion game to this, but instead of being an adaptation in a platformer style, it was actually a pinball game. And if I have time after playing this today and getting through the story, I want to show off the pinball game, because I always like a good virtual pinball game. There we go, we've completed the level. Lovely. Oh, I hope they put Poor Unfortunate Soul in here. Actually, before we do that, let's return to Scuttle's Island and check out our treasure hoard, because that's, I guess, the point of picking up stuff in the level, is so that you can then go back and check your collection. Gibbon says about Frogger 2 Swampy's Revenge, it's good, but not as good as He's Back. He prefers the more pure Mario 64 style approach of the first reboot game, while Swampy's Revenge goes for a more Crash Bandicoot style linear levels type of thing. Okay, I misspoke earlier. Frogger 2 is actually the second of the Frogger reboot things. So there was a Frogger He's Back, and then a Frogger 2. And they have different 3D approaches, so that's interesting. So, this is summarizing the levels we've done, how many pearls we found, and what's going on here? Okay, so we can select levels from a menu, that's cool. I've got some bonus things. I guess I'll just keep playing the game and then I'll check out the extras at the end. So, this one. Yeah. Okay.
That was a close one. Too close.
What?
The little tramp. Oh, she's better than I thought.
This happens way later in the film.
By sunset for sure.
How much are we skipping? What's going on?
Ursula took matters into her own tentacles. Triton's daughter
I don't believe this.
and then I'll make him
Is this a
I'll
mistake?
see him
Is this a
wriggle
glitch?
like a worm on a hook.
We kind of skipped the entire second act of the movie. Tell me that FMV just played in the wrong place. Tell me.
The daughter of the Sea King.
Yeah,
I am ruler of all the ocean. You
she has the trident.
insignificant fool.
What the heck? What? Okay, my guess is that they're really skipping quickly through the first movie so they can get to Little Mermaid 2, which is the key feature of this game, I guess. Otherwise, this makes no sense. Yeah, well, we'll see where they go with it. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, maybe this game will be over a lot quicker than I thought. When we had like scenes in Atlantica and then a whole level in the crashed ship, I'm like, okay, maybe they'll really take their time with this game. But then on the other hand, I guess if you're focusing on the underwater style gameplay, after this point, she becomes a human and there's really none of that ass Ariel for the rest of the game, or the rest of the story. So your choices then are either creating a new story like they did, like Capcom did on the NES, like Blue Sky did on the Mega Drive, or yeah, just not having much gameplay, or doing different styles of gameplay like we saw on Game Boy Advance and DS. They adapt the film, you know, more closely and thoroughly, but they do it by 6 out of 5. They do it by having different gameplay styles and mini games, which is, you know, debatable on whether that's a good thing. Yeah, so I guess I understand that choice here. I assume there's going to be more to the game in the Little Mermaid 2 portion, but we'll see. We'll continue playing and find out, won't we? Right. Now, seeing all the polyps turn back into mermaids reminds me of a note I had. I did mention last week while playing Ariel the Little Mermaid on the Sega consoles that that game is the only time you'll ever see Ariel in polyp form, which is the cursed form that Ursula puts people in. That's half true, or maybe quarter true. No, 3/4 true, because there's an episode of the animated series, A Tale of Two Crabs, where Sebastian's overachieving friend Zeus visits, and in a climax, Ursula has a magic thing that turns people into quote-unquote sea worms. Not sure exactly what that means, but they're similar to polyps, but they're not exactly the same. And of course, any kind of sea worm, if it's a worm, is very different from a polyp, which is like a coral or an anemone, something like a jellyfish. So you do see in a scene in that Flounder, Triton, and Ariel turned into sea worms, but her sea worm form looks quite different from the polyp form that you see in that game. And they're all different to the way the polyps are presented in the first film, in terms of the look and the colouring. Similar, but different. So, yes, just address that. But let's move on. Yeah, this is the opening of the second game. Oh, second movie. You know what I mean. It's the same game. How soon are we going to be done here? Very soon, I expect. That means this game is less substantial than I thought. Oh well. So I watched Little Mermaid 2 yesterday, and I was pretty pleased with it. The songs aren't as memorable, and there's not as many of them. But I like the story. It's got that whole next generation thing going on. Okay, this is skipping really quickly. So if you're not familiar with the plot of Little Mermaid 2, I feel I should explain it. So after that scene with Ariel and her daughter Melody, Ursula's sister Morgana arrives and attacks them, kidnaps the baby, and tries to exchange her for Triton's trident, which is the MacGuffin that everyone's always after, of course. And so Ariel says, oh no, the sea is dangerous. I can never go back there, and I can never let my daughter be in contact with the sea. So they build a wall around their castle, and they forbid anyone from going in the ocean, most especially Melody. And so, yeah, it's interesting. That's a choice that the movie makes for its plot. Of course, the main character conflict there is the other choice, that Ariel doesn't tell Melody why this has happened. She just forbids her from going in the sea.
Let's go collect seashells.
I'm getting too old for this.
Okay, and this is the voice and character design that Flounder has in the sequel when he's older. And he has like 5 children, although you never see their mother. Oh, so Air is a mechanic now. There you go. It's Echo the Dolphin. Skimming is saying, with this and that one Lion King game covers both films instead of just covering the second. Yeah, I guess I understand it in that the original is the popular one that everyone's familiar with, right? So, well, I guess the odd thing is that this one is branded using the sequel. Oh, I can't attack actually, but I can swim faster. I never actually used my shock attack as Ariel, really. Would it even have been useful in any spots? I don't think so. But Melody can't attack or shock. But yes, she has her own bag. And, but yeah, the odd thing is that the Lion King game was just called Simba's Mighty Adventure, right? This one is called Little Mermaid 2. but both of them cover both games, which I think is a good choice. I guess it does make it a less substantial adaptation, because you have to fit two stories into the space of one game. But I do like that as a concept. It's part of the reason I like a lot of the Lego video games, because they're a compilation of a bunch of different stories that you play through, and that's fun. But in another sense, perhaps melody has been shortchanged in this case. Okay. Hello, dolphin. Yeah, so...
You must find the pendant first, Melody.
Okay, but why would you know about that, Sebastian? Okay, dolphin, hello, my friend. What's up? Is that it? What? So a magic shell is leading me to the pendant. Okay. Don't understand why that happened, but okay, cool. So, let me see, did I explain the plot properly? Yeah, there's this whole thing where the whole conflict and the plot of the movie is there because of a lack of communication, which is frustrating to watch, or it can be. Like, if they just sat down and had a conversation, then none of it would have happened. But yeah, the whole point of the movie and this character is that Melody's an inversion of Ariel, because Ariel's forbidding her to go in the sea, just like Triton forbade Ariel to go up to the surface and interact with humans. Then she longs for the sea, and she's always sneaking out to go swimming, and she has her own treasure bag that she fills with shells and things she finds in the ocean. So this pendant was given to Melody at her birth, or near her birth, by Triton, her grandfather. But when they decided that Melody couldn't go in the sea anymore, he threw away the pendant, and so Melody's found it, and it's like, oh, I have a mysterious lost past that's a secret. So in a sense, oh, well, let me just...
Why? And why does that necklace have my name on it?
Melody, listen to me.
You're hiding something from me.
Drama. Yeah, in a sense, it's kind of undermining Ariel's character a bit to have her act like this, but in another way, they do like to emphasize from time to time that she is more similar to Triton than she realizes, and in this plot we see her kind of doing the same actions Triton did to her.
I don't agree with this, young lady, but I promise to help.
And of course there'll be a happy ending.
At the end of the beach, but you'll need to
Gibbon
find
says I
more
should watch that film again at some point. I'd recommend it. It's a cool film. What's my jump button? Triangle is jump. That's unusual for video games. There was another game that had triangles jump. What was it? It's not the divide enemies within, is it? That's weird. I can't. So I can climb up there if I'm standing next to it, but I can't grab a ledge and then climb, apparently. There must be a way to do it. This is not a Metroidvania. There's a cake there and I want it. Can I push the barrel, perhaps? Yes, I can. Lovely. Yeah, so Melody has a cake. That's a scene that was not adapted here. She had a birthday party and then there was some Sebastian shenanigans and it got ruined. Oh, the Nipper took my cake. Give it back. Give it back. Ooh, ooh. I just can't get it. That's frustrating. But yeah, you can clearly tell, like, it's a Disney direct-to-video sequel. The animation budget is not as high. You know, the writing, the music, it's a slightly lesser quality, you know. Jump, run, throw. Okay, I can throw things. But it's still worth watching, I think, if you're a fan of Little Mermaid. To be honest, I think I enjoyed the animated series more. But I do like advancing the story rather than going back and doing a prequel. Yes, the cake is gone forever, apparently. Oh. Well, I guess I gotta feed the cake. Oh, that's right. Okay, I got a rock that I can throw. Okay. As long as I don't die before I get there. Alright, here we go. Throwing rock. Lovely. Now, in case I die, save state. Oh, wow. That is the game over screen, and I'm going back to Scuttle's Island. Okay, so save state. Great. Oh! You jerk. I do like the repeated hurt sound. It's amusing. Okay.
Feed me. I'm so hungry. Cake.
That's right. You got the cake. And I got a scrap of material. And I don't need all the coins. Yeah, so one of the cool things about the sequel and indeed the animated series is, like I was saying before, how many of the voice actors came back to reprise their roles. But of course, Melody is the main character of this film, and she's voiced by Tara Charendorf, who was later in life known as Tara Strong. So she's a well-known voice actor for sure. Uh-oh. You jerk. Bonk. And she does a good job as Melody, and apparently she was super stoked to get the job as well, being a fan of the original and getting to interact with Jodie Benson and stuff. Very cool for her, which is nice. And yeah, she does a good job as Melody. She actually comes back in the prequel film voicing some of Ariel's sisters, along with well-known voice actor names such as Jennifer Hale, Carrie Walgren, and what's the other one? Grey Griffin, who at the time was Grey Delisle. So that was a dead end. What do I do now? I have some kind of thing. What is that? It looks like a cooking utensil, like a spatula. Rude. I don't know what to do. And I can't. Now I can go back, so I guess I will. Yeah, I still, like, a lot of people look down on the direct-to-video sequels, and for an understandable reason. Okay, I just had to go back and find the boat. Fine. But I don't agree with just stopping making them entirely. Maybe they could have scaled back the production. They were doing 2 to 4 per year for a while between 97 and 2007. But then the actual villain and real life not good guy John Lasseter, boo, John Lasseter, boo, became the creative director of something or other and cancelled them all.
Lock of names? Why it has my name on it?
And there was a statement apparently where he specifically cited this movie as one of the reasons, its unpopularity or something, for why they didn't want to do them anymore. Even though in an official 2015 poll, this was voted the best one. I still think The Lion King 2 is the best one, but then again, I haven't revisited it recently. It might not be as good as I remember, but I remember it being quite good. But yeah, that's another one where it's the whole next generation thing. A lot of the sequels are kind of a bit rehashy and just have the same characters, but like Lion King 2 and this one really advanced the story quite significantly, which is why I like them a lot. So yeah, we skipped a bit there, but it's a similar thing to Ariel being approached by the eels, and then in this case, Morgana has like a shark familiar who tried and transformed into a tiny fish during the confrontation 10 years ago or whatever it was. Melody's supposed to be 12, I think, and she was quite young at that time. So it's either 12 years ago or something like that. But yeah, so he's like, oh, Morgana can help you. So then here we go, and Melody's meeting her. And Morgana is deceiving her and saying, oh, I'm nice. Your mum lied to you. I'm your friend.
A mermaid? But it's not possible.
Darling, anything's possible.
Can turn me into a mermaid?
Piece of fish cake, honey.
Come, my darling. Your destiny.
Yeah, so that magic potion thing is Ursula's magic that Morgana somehow got. And it can just do anything, I guess. I don't know. It's a plot device. But Morgana's got this whole thing going on where she feels inferior to Ursula, her late sister. And their mother apparently favored Ursula. And so she's got this like jealousy angle and trying to escape her sister's legacy and stuff, or stuff like that. It comes through a little bit more in a deleted song scene from this movie. The song was not that great, but it does have a bit more about Morgana's character, which is fine, I guess.
Oh, but it was stolen years ago by a deranged kleptomaniac.
Yeah, the plot MacGuffins, yeah. Well, the Trident itself is a huge plot MacGuffin too. And yeah, the sob story and then Melody. Another deception there on Morgana's part. Trident stole my magic trident, so you must get it back for me. And then, etc. That's a good point, actually, Gibbon. Gibbon's bringing up that book again, Poor Unfortunate Soul, which was the Ursula prequel book that we discussed last week, I believe. And saying, yeah, that book ignores this film, yet references the next film, which is the prequel film, which in turn had a lot of retroactive continuity ignoring, in that it rewrites a lot of stuff that was established in the animated series, which is fine. You know, I understand that they do things like that, but I'm at this point quite a fan of the animated series, so that kind of annoyed me. So yeah, this is a big scene in the film. Melody meets Tip and Dash. These are her two kind of main companions for this film. They're very much in the Timon and Pumbaa mold.
Excuse me, mister, I spill my guts for total strangers. You just blew our cover. I was just trying to be friendly.
And they form a little trio.
We've lost the ice sword.
The what?
Find it for us, please?
Okay, this is new.
Let's find the ice sword.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, so the whole thing about Ursula being Triton's sister, which was in the book that Gibbon mentions there, and also is part of, well, it was actually part of the part of her backstory in the original film, and in deleted scenes for that film,
A monster? Where?
they do mention it, and the sort of writer directors talk about that being part of her character. And you see Ursula and Morgana's mother, who is a Sicilian like them, which is a human octopus hybrid thing. Okay, here's the ice sword. It just looks like an icicle. Yeah, so this film seemingly is rewriting that backstory that was never properly established in any media that Ursula's Triton's sister, so which makes it a little harder to try and reconcile it. But again, both of these things are in deleted scenes, so do they really count? Yeah, I don't know. Can a Cecilia then birth a mermaid? I guess. Okay, so if a merman or a merman, as Triton would say, mates with a Cecilia, then maybe it follows the cartoon logic rules. You know how Lady and the Tramp, when they have kids, the girl kids look like the mother and the boy kids look like the father? So if that was the case, then Ursula and Morgana are Sicilians like their mother, and then Triton is merman like his father. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, it all works. It's fine. We figured it out. So, I've just got a map from nowhere, which in the original film, Morgana gives her this map, which is written on ice or crystal or something, and then like Melody immediately drops it and it smashes. Which is why she needs Tip and Dash's help, because it's a map to Atlantica. She doesn't know how to get to Atlantica, but then they help her to do so. But yeah, now I have the map. Oh, the whale scene. This is nice. She rides on the back of a whale after she gets her mermaid tail. And she's so happy to be a mermaid. It's lovely. Okay. We're not going to interact with the whale, I guess. Oh, now that I have a mermaid tail, actually. Yes, I can tail whip. I can spin roll. It's lovely. I can even magical super shock thing. Cool. Gibbon says that he hand waves that Ursula is Triton's half sister. Okay. Yeah, that works well enough. Okay, down the hole or continue forward? Let's go down the hole. Secret hole. Yeah, cool stuff. You know, I'm doing a pacifist run, but maybe I can actually attack these jellyfish. That seems to stun them. Yeah, they'll be fine.
There's something inside the ice.
Something, eh? Is that my only attack? There's like standing tail whip and then there's spin. I'm trying combos to get a different kind of attack. No, it's just you spin if you're moving, I guess. Right, so I found a pepper shaker. Fine. Oh.
The pepper. Maybe you could use it on the monster.
Maybe. I guess there's only one thing we can do, and that's try. I like that Flounder just follows you around. Gives it a feeling of a cooperative adventure, even though he's not doing much except talking. Sebastian should be around too, right? Or I guess at this point he's in Atlantica. I don't remember what happens to Sebastian in this film. Luckily, he doesn't have that much screen time. There's some shenanigans at the start, which is, you know, typical. But he kind of gets out of the way a bit, which I appreciate. They wanted Tip to be the new comic relief character, I guess. So in Gibbon's theory, Morgana isn't directly related to Triton. Yeah, that works, I guess. Right. So what was the monster? Was it the whale? Where does the pepper come into it? Oh, maybe I should have backtracked more instead of going straight to the whale. There might have been something else back there. Who knows?
Then, north to, no,
Yeah, so this is the thing that happens. She has the map, and then she meets Tip and Dash after this point. Oh no.
it's ruined. Now how am I gonna find my way to Atlantica? Do either of you know how to get to Atlantica? I don't have much time.
Why do you want to go to Atlantica?
I have to get something that was stolen from a friend. If I don't, I'll turn back into...
A what? Turn back into a what? We'll take you.
You will?
We will? She's a damsel in distress. It's our big chance.
Yeah, so these guys want to be like heroes.
Oh boy.
But they're too cowardly.
Somebody stop me. All right then, we're in.
I think their song is probably the most memorable one in the film. Titanic, Tip and Daring Dash, Adventurers slash Explorers. I was just looking at that scene where Melody is talking to them and her head's stuck up out of the water. And she has a little bit of the, oh no, stealth mechanics. Yeah, there's this thing that I've noticed about Ariel's character design, which is she's got like really nice flowy hair when she's underwater, right? And then when she pops her head above water in the film, it kind of flops over her face and it doesn't look anywhere near as graceful, which is the point. But, and then like it looks nice again after she brushes it on land. But yeah, it was kind of a thing that I started to notice in the animated series and other stuff like the comics. Sometimes they don't bother to do that when she surfaces, and sometimes they do. And so it was a mark of attention to detail, I think. I took it as. If they made her look awkward
Hello, Dash. Can you help me get back to Atlantica?
above the surface.
Ooh, I don't know. There are some nasty barracudas around here.
Ooh, barracuda.
Of course we'll help you, Melody. Now, let me think of a plan.
So this is another example of that thing I was talking about, I think 2 weeks ago. We have a mammal and a bird, both air breathers, but in the movie, who cares? They can just stay underwater for as long as they want. They can talk. They don't need to breathe. It's fine. Sea creatures, they just live down here and it's all good. I thought of another class of animals that is the case for in Little Mermaid media, and that is reptiles. So turtles and tortoises, like the king's advisor Dudley. Yeah, he just lives down here and who cares how he breathes, don't worry about it. As Gibbon was telling me the other week, there's a lot of animals, crustaceans and cephalopods that do have some kind of gill system. Okay, so this is what happens in the film. We hide under the tablecloth. Oh, do I have to grab a salad? That's a Sprite. That's kind of a clue. See how things are polygons on the table? I think they are, but the salad clearly looks different, so it's an item. So I've got the salad. Hey Merman, want a salad? Attack. Okay. So do I not have to hide? I do. I can. Help me Tip and Dash.
You can use this
Okay,
map to
they're
stop
gonna
the
use it.
Titan.
Wait a minute, that gives me an idea. Follow us, Melody.
Gibbon says, just occurred to me that Kingdom Hearts would be the other franchise that covers all these direct-to-video sequels. It does? They're in Kingdom Hearts? I did not know this. Oh, this is cute. Not suspicious at all. That merman should be fired.
There is a disturbance in the palace. Do you think they've found
That's
Melody?
another one of the weird things about Ariel's beginning, the prequel movie. All the sort of palace guards and enforcement, they're not merman soldiers, they're swordfish. It's just one of the weird things about that movie. It also does not have very many new memorable songs. Oddly, they prominently use the real life or like surface human song. What's it called? Shake, 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 Sonora, shake your body line. That one, you know the one. That's like a significant motif in 2 scenes of the movie instead of making an original song. It's odd.
Gets her hands on my trident. Double the search parties. I want every creature in the
Oh yeah, so at this point Ariel has met with King Triton and he turned her back into a mermaid. Yeah, that happened. That's a thing. Actually, that reminds me. I read on like the Disney wiki that early versions of the film had a slightly different character design to Ariel and then they adjusted it in later releases. I tried to check that on a couple of copies of the movie I had and I didn't notice a difference, but this game being contemporaneous with the film would presumably, if there was an earlier character design, use that character design as opposed to any versions of the film I watched, but looking just at that scene I didn't really notice. I don't know. Hard to say. So yeah, Gibbon says that Kingdom Hearts covers the Aladdin sequels at least. Interesting. I don't know much about Kingdom Hearts at all, but it surprises me that they would cover the sequels.
Not too late.
But yeah, that's cool. One of the few times that would ever happen, wouldn't it? Oh, I'm Ariel now. Okay.
Melody's pendant.
Yes, so she dropped her pendant when she got the trident. And here's Cloak and Dagger, Morgana's pet Rays. Every witch has like a pair of sidekicks. There was a piranha witch in the Marvel comics who had piranha familiars. Oh, nasty. Hey, quit it. Pew. That is so slow. It works though, I guess. Yeah, so did I finish my thought about Ariel's hair? I think it's cool that it's like the point is that she's awkward on land, but she is like she's suited to underwater movement, and that extends to how her hair looks underwater as well. And then when she's on land, it's all like that's not what she's suited for, as signified by her hair being weird, and her not being able to move properly and stuff. And yet she really wants to live there, and when she finally gets up onto the surface properly, lives as a human, and brushes her hair properly, then it looks just like it did under the sea. So it's like symbolic and stuff, you know? Yeah. Cool. So this level has like a cave section and above cave section all the way through. But yeah, I guess this is just Ariel following the rays back to Morgana's lair. Not much to it. Okay, that's the end.
Oh, there you are, darling. Oh, I was so worried about you. And look, you brought back my trident. Clever girl. Give it, give it, give it. Hey. Forgive him, dear. He's got a little size issue.
Melody, no!
At this point, Ariel tries to tell her, I'm sorry, and she's like, no, it's too late. I hate you, Mom. Oh yeah, that thing. You see her skeleton silhouette during that electric thing. And I was like, wait a minute, she has a pelvis. What does that tell you about mermaid biology? Octopi certainly do not have pelvises. And I'm not even going to mention the small world reference that that fish just made.
You've got no one to blame but yourself.
Lame.
Tell me, Melody, is being a mermaid everything you dreamed? Was it worth it?
Oh, and the whole transforming Melody into mermaid, Morgana says, oh, it's temporary, unless you can get me the trident.
Oh, and by the way, your time as a mermaid is just about expired. Catch you later. I've got bigger fish to fry.
Oh, actually, that's another thing. Since Morgana's the big new character in this film, her voice actor, she is actually played by Pat Carroll, the same voice actor who played Ursula in the original film. So she's, you know, it's fitting because it's her sister, that she's doing a slightly different voice for the role. Again, showing the versatility of voice actors.
I'm gonna bust this out of here. Is it the last thing
Yep. Flounder's big power in the previous games has been pushing rocks and bashing stuff. He is not able to break this wall in this game, in this story. They will indirectly. So we're back as Ariel again. And this is nearing the climax. We might get another melody section near the end, but yeah, that's interesting. Because of course Ariel does play a role in the film's events. But this reminds me of how disappointed I was with The Lion King Simba's Mighty Adventure, the game, which adapts the first two Lion King movies. Having you only play as Simba, you know, well, it's in the name, but still, Nala is... No, Kiara? Sorry. It's been a while. The daughter, the young lion girl character who is Simba's daughter. Kiara is the main character of the second film, and you don't play as her in the game at all. You play as Simba the whole time, which in that case this is a step up from that, because at least you trade off between Ariel and Melody when appropriate, so that's a point in this game's favor. What is that little head thing? It's like a doll's head or something bizarre.
Can you help me?
Melody, where? Melody's trapped?
Yes,
Never fear, fair maiden. We'll help you.
whatever. Should I talk about gender roles? There's this one comment in the third film.
Nice fishy.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I guess he got turned back into a big shark. They didn't show that part, but now that Morgana has the trident, she
grab the tail.
did that. And then, yeah, they lure him into bashing into this thing.
Got him.
And then he bashes into a wall and disappears from the film, so I guess it's implied that he died. I'll save you, but first I gotta grab this pearl real quick. So yeah, at this point, Melody's mermaid transformation has worn off. She's a human again. Gibbon says, I'm glad you've watched the film recently and can explain all these missing scenes, lol. Yeah, the game is actually frustratingly skipping some bits. Eddie's a fish again! Yeah, that's also out of order. Yeah, it's doing things weirdly out of order. But even just playing this game, you would notice that, because the shark was in the previous scene and he's a fish in that FMV. But I guess they wanted you to place Ariel. I guess at that point, yeah, because she would have been... Yeah, okay, interesting. That's a choice.
I hold the trident, so now bow down to me.
So there are some new voice lines, and as far as I know, they were done by the original actors, which is nice. Okay, so it's Melody again, and whoops. And yeah, back on land again in a platforming 2D style. That's too bad. We only got a couple of levels with Melody as a mermaid, but that's okay. I enjoyed that while they were happening. Oh. Oops. That was an instant death, apparently. There you go. Alright, let's do this the speedrunner's way. Not stopping for even an instant. Oops. Okay, the perspective was tough. Also, is it just me or is that fish just floating in the air? The implication being, I suppose, that there's water just below there, but they didn't render it or anything. I did it again, I jumped too early. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Gibbon says that her on-land movement reminds him of old school Prince of Persia. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? I was just reading about the Aladdin game that nobody talks about, which is the Master System version, which is completely different to the SNES and Mega Drive games, and how that one, more than the rest of them, plays like Prince of Persia. So, yeah. Yeah, I do like her little animations. I would consider it a great compliment to compare something to Prince of Persia. Ugh. Nuts. Let me see. Okay, a little bit of follow-up. I have talked about on these Little Mermaid streams already how there's a bunch of comics that you can find at Daring to Dream, the fan site. Well, since then, I've found a couple extra ones. There's this like Disney princess line of comics that is current that they're doing that are like really weak gag humor type stuff. Although there's a couple of longer form story ones as well. And there's some aerial content in those. Oh, okay. I fall down. That's interesting. Yeah, we got a close-up view now. You can see Ariel's model. You can see Melody's model better than ever before. Not that you wanted to. It looks better a bit further away, I think, but still, it's fine. Okay, so I guess we're throwing rocks. Yeah, or ice cubes. It's very Klonoa, or I don't know, Yoshi's Island. Klonoa more. I think almost every Klonoa boss fight had you in a ring, 2.5D, running around the boss and then throwing things towards them in the middle. So, oops, wrong button. Whatever, Morgana. Get owned. Her health is not dropping as fast as I want. This might take a while. Gonna have to throw lots of ice cubes. Gag comics says given. Well, they can be good, or they can have really feeble jokes that are boring, so yeah, it varies. Alright, so the cubes actually appear in the path of her laser, I should note that. Okay, we've got plenty hanging around now. Oops, wrong button again. Chuck, chuck, chuck. Ouch, ouch. But yeah, apart from that, there's also a new adaptation of the film. Whoopsie. So much damage. Okay, I'll save state here. I'll have to come back later. Yeah, so, you know, there was an adaptation contemporary with the film. Is that me dying? No mercy. Okay, that was just a little mid-fight cutscene, I guess. Maybe it means she's going to change her pattern now. So that's one way to avoid that. You little... yeah, so there's a new film adaptation. Back in the day, of course, there was a Disney Comics adaptation that just told the film story in the style at the time, and I mentioned it before because I recognized that it made a similar choice of incorporating song exposition into dialogue the way that the Game Boy Advance game did. Now, let me see. Yeah, so there's a new film comic 2019 to 2020. Came out in 3 parts. Gotta be careful now, my health's quite low. And yeah, the art's really nice, obviously. They spent a bit more time and money on making it look nice than they did back then. But it makes this odd choice of having it completely from Ariel's perspective. So there's no scenes where Ariel isn't present. There's no Triton talking to Sebastian. There's no Sebastian antics, which is okay. No, like, Ursula talking to herself. And it also has a ton of, like, Ariel voiceover, or, like, Ariel's inner monologue in text boxes. In almost every panel, there's extra thoughts of Ariel happening, which it's kind of makes it feel cluttered, and it's kind of unnecessary. I don't know. It was weird. No. There'll be no escape for you ever. So there you go. Triton doesn't kill her, but he does freeze her inside an immutable block of ice and sink her into the deepest abyss of the ocean. And are they going to include that one little scene here? Yes. She is conscious and capable of moving her eyes while within the block of ice. Perhaps a fate worse than death. And there is a picture of Ursula that she was throwing sea stars at earlier in the film. A bit on the nose to have it falling down with her, but okay. Oh, and that's the end, of course. That makes sense. So, there you go. 1 hour, 15 minutes, and we've completed all the levels that exist in this game. I suppose we can go backtrack for treasure and stuff, fill out our collection. But, yeah, much like with many of the other Little Mermaid games I've played in the last 3 weeks, it's pretty short. But that's fine. Hmm. Let me see. Yeah, I started saying earlier about how I don't like how Melody becomes a damsel in distress and they kind of call it out in dialogue. But the same thing happens to Ariel at a certain point in the first film, which is one of the things, even though I love the films, that's one thing I don't like about them. Sam Wright, aka Samuel E. Wright, the voice of Sebastian. Jodie Benson as Ariel. Taylor Gafaldi, I think, is... who was he again? Oh, I don't remember. Anyway, all these people. Well done. Thank you. Yeah. But that's something that comes up a couple of times. But I was going to say, when I also watched the third film yesterday, the prequel, and there's this like one tiny moment right at the end of the film where like Arista picks up a saxophone and starts playing, and Flanders like, wait, what's this? A girl in the band? What? And like, dude, you don't need to do that, especially in 2008. Like, they never called it out like that. Like, Ariel was never prevented from doing something because she was a girl. That's one of the reasons that I think the third movie, one of the little reasons that the third movie is kind of disappointing. I also found it a little odd because it feels too modern, if that makes sense. They have all these little humorous asides and stuff that just don't seem to fit with the rest of the series that I've recently watched, being all happening in the 90s basically, between these two films and the animated series and the comics. Not to mention, yeah, the antagonist. I don't know. It's weird. The third film's weird. It also has some slight ableism and racism, but I might not bother going into that. Maybe it's not worth making a fuss about, but it is annoying. Alright, so here's our collection screen, I guess. Getting all the pearls unlocks a special thing. What is this exactly? Oh, this is the picture from the deleted scene of Ursula and Morgana and their mother. You can just barely make it out. Yeah, cool, cool, cool. So, what is all this? So I didn't get enough pearls for this saxophone thing. I can restart game, bonuses. I suppose we should do the bonuses. Oh, we're only too short of getting that saxophone. Who knows what that is? Let's check out the bonuses. I guess this is the treasure hoard screen that we would have got to from the title screen. Yeah, let me see. Okay, so we've got plenty of time. I'll play the pinball game after we do some of these, whatever they are.
It's all my fault. The bond is well, it's terrible. Can you help me teach them?
I can try. Oh, multiplayer. No, it's just me, thanks.
Get ready.
Oh, great. It's a rhythm game. Oh, it's Under the Sea, of course. Did I win? Okay, now it's just playing like what I did with my inputs to confirm that I did it right. Cool.
Get ready.
Okay. Oh man, it's the same clip. But I guess I'm doing a different instrument now? Is it gonna all build up? Oh, I think it might. It's a bit like the Milk Bar minigame in Majora's Mask, where you play the different instruments and then at the end it mixes them all together. And it's supposed to sound like Ballad of the Windfish, although I don't really get it. That's kind of cool. I wonder if I have the opportunity to freestyle like Jamalani though. Okay.
Jellyfish, that was good.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Get ready.
Okay. Oops. Wrong buttons. Messed it up at the end there. That's okay.
Yeah, man. That was real good.
Cool.
Get ready.
Oh, what's this now? Now, I know that rhythm minigames are not conducive to commentary. I know this already. Yeah, we can cancel the replay, thanks.
Jellyfish, that was good.
Are we doing all the instruments again? Okay. Well, I guess this is a good opportunity to talk about the sequel, because the whole plot of the sequel is that music has been banned because Triton is grieving for 10 years. And there's like a secret music club, and it gets raided by the Popo, and then the band goes on the run with Ariel. And that's kind of the adventure aspect of the plot, I guess, is them in the wilderness, though it doesn't last very long. But if we're, I guess, going to continue talking about my problems with the prequel film, it's a little bit unpleasant to have the characters being miserable for most of the runtime of the film, and Triton being really mean all the time, which, you know, he's mean in the original film, but he's not, it's not to that extent, and you see he's still capable of some regret and joy at certain times. And they definitely softened him in the animated series. But one of the things I do like about the prequel film is that it characterizes Ariel's sisters a lot more, because up till that point, you really only had a few little bits here and there to give any of them individual personalities. There's one, the Peter David comics from the Disney limited series. The first arc has Aquata being, well, you know, this is another retcon from the prequel film, is that the order of the daughters was changed so that I don't remember which one it is that becomes the oldest, most responsible one, but in the comics, as it was in the whole rest of the series until 2008, Aquata is the firstborn and looking to inherit the kingdom after Triton. And as a result, when he goes off to do something, she is the responsible one who has to take action in that first Peter David arc. So that's good for her. And then Arista has one episode of the animated series, Beached, where she and Ariel aren't allowed to go to the carnival, so they have to stay home in the palace, and then they foil a burglary by two alligators who, again, are able to survive under the sea for extended periods. But actually, interestingly, in that one, they sort of say at one point, oh, we can't swim too well, so we have to run around on the ground all the time, which was one of the few times that sort of thing was pointed out, even though I think alligators and crocodiles are actually able to swim freely. Oh, I won. Okay, cool. That's it. Yeah, so you get like Arista and Ariel interacting a lot in that episode, which is good for her character. But yeah, they all have their own little quirks in the prequel movie, and in fact, they're voiced by I already said that, yeah. Tara Strong. Coming back to voice
Oh, was it that way? It was
some of the sisters. Alright, okay, so... What's this? Snowball Antics with Tip. Okay. Cool. That is a delightfully low poly character model. Let's go. Oh, great. What? Oh man, I gotta pick from these. Undertow, Flounder, Dash, and Tip. I guess Tip? He's cute. He's a penguin. Oh, this is Mario Party. This is a Mario Party minigame. We have to knock our opponents off this little ice flow. Like, I'm pretty sure this is in literally every Mario Party game. Ah! No Flounder. Dang it. So there you go, you unlock multiplayer minigames. Of course, the PlayStation only had the 2 controller ports, but this has 4 players, and then 2 of them get taken by AI, I suppose. Yeah, I wonder how the multiplayer worked in the rhythm minigame I just did. I'm not doing well here, am I? Not this time. Let's try and get around. Oh, yes. Cool beans. Oops. Oh. Yeah. Let me see. What other notes did I have? Okay. Did I mention... let me see. I feel like I might have mentioned at some point when I was talking about how annoying Sebastian is. The fact that there's an episode of the animated series where they find a magic cave, which looks a bit like the Cave of Wonders from Aladdin, and it offers to give them magic powers, and Urchin, who is like a major character in the series, but new for the series, he's a little orphan boy. He's too scared to go in, so Ariel goes in. She becomes a sorceress, gets a cool cape and like a tiara and a magic wand, and the first thing she does is make Sebastian grow bigger, and then that is the main plot of the episode. And the fact that she has awesome magic powers is kind of forgotten about for most of the runtime until it comes back at the end. And like, such waste of potential. Like, you're gonna give Ariel, you're gonna turn her into literally a sorceress, and then completely sideline her to focus on Sebastian again. And like, the plot is him coping with being bigger. Like, what the hell? Ugh, it makes me mad and just bemused, really. And then at the end, what she does is, I wish none of this ever happened, and they literally reverse time to before they went into the magic cave, and they just swim away. It's so crazy. Yeah. So, I guess what you could say is that the justification for her having magic powers in these games, like the ability to shoot a magic star or magic song notes, or in this game have that shock wave thing, is a leftover remnant of her sorceress powers from the magic cave. That's my headcanon. Right, so I'm thinking, since there's so much time, I can maybe do another run of some level or other to try and get a couple of pearls, 2 more pearls to get that saxophone. So what would be the best? This was an Ariel level, wasn't it? If possible, I'd like to be Melody again, just to give her some attention. But I don't think that's in the cards right now. It's better to go for one of these levels with 3 missing pearls. Ba-boop, ba-boop, boo. Alright, one thing I want to bring up also is... yeah, so I talked before about how The Little Mermaid, the original film, kind of kicked off this new era of Disney classics. But yeah, it was a pioneer in a couple of ways. It was the first, I'm gonna get this wrong, but it was like the first big film to use CGI animation, basically, which you can see in like the pirate ship scene, and when she's running down the stairs after Scuttles told her that Eric's getting married. The stairs are CG, and like parts of the whirlpool at the end, I think, as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. What's going on here? So I'm looking for pearls, so I'm just kind of... Here's one. Is that new? Not sure if that's new. Stop it. So I only had 2. Was it those ones? Let's do another quick run through the bottom cave. Yeah, okay, so there's one. I just need one more. So yeah. Like 1989 was very early to have computer animation, and so it's one of the ways that the film was really pioneering. But what was interesting was I didn't really notice any CG animation in the sequel, although there might have been, but there was some pretty jarring use of it in the prequel film, especially with the music box that is a significant sort of MacGuffin in the film that Triton gives to his wife at one point, Athena, Ariel's mother. And they do all these like long close-ups of it, and also a statue of them, of the 2 of them. And yeah, it's just, for the most part, the animation in the movie is really nice, but then when they do like close-ups of these 3D modeled stuff, it's jarring. It doesn't really mesh with the rest of it. Yeah. Alright, so what is the dealio? At least I got one extra one. I guess I can do another level if I need to. Still got some missing pearls. Oh well. Yeah. We know what happens. Okay. So, did I unlock? I have 44. Okay, return. So I'll go find another level. Slightly faster, speed up, go. Okay. Yeah, this one. Get a little bit more melody time before we finish up here. Just need one more pearl, people. Well, I think I pretty much covered all my notes here. Have you got anything to say about Little Mermaid stuff, Gibbon? Otherwise, I could bring up other mermaid-related video games.
Do you know the way to Atlantica?
This here's Pip, and I'm Dash. Excuse me, mister, I spill my gut.
Yeah. Don't know what this ice sword is. Okay, I must have got that one. Pearls. Gibbon says no, he doesn't have anything else to bring up. Apparently I've done a wonderful job. Thank you for saying so. I am dead keen on these movies. And the animated series, and the comics. They're all good. I do recommend checking them out. But I've I've sort of gone over some of my problems with certain of the media that exist, so yeah, it's all good. But yeah, if you are interested in checking out the comics, a lot of them have been scanned and uploaded to Daring to Dream. So check those out, especially the Peter David Limited series and the Marvel like 15 issue series. They're quite good. The latter drawing a lot from the animated series,
No, thank you.
recent characters and stuff, which is cool. Helps flesh out the world a lot. Okay. Petals, please. Yeah, there's no surfacing in this game, except for the levels where I'm running around with legs, of course. Where are my pearls? Give me my pearls. Okay. I don't get it. Maybe I should be attacking something. Like these. See how it's kind of glinting? I guess that's because it's ice, but maybe... attack. Maybe attacking enemies. Creatures. Wish that was faster. Yeah, any attacks just stun them for a bit, I guess. Where are the pearls? I only need one.
There's something inside the ice.
Oh! Wait, I've done that before. 3. I didn't have 3 before. Yes, I did. I did have 3. I just needed one other one. Because I assume that the ones I've just found are ones I already had. But where would they be? Where would they be? So far, everything's basically been out in the open, right? There were some barrels I could attack in earlier levels. But I don't see any barrels around here. Okay. So I did have a theory that not going straight to the whale might lead me to something. And I've definitely been in here. Was it the whale that the fish was talking about was a monster? I don't know. Mysterious fathoms below. Oh yeah, the other thing I watched was... It's on Disney Plus. It's called the Little Mermaid Live. I guess it's a live thing they did for TV. Because there's all these commercial breaks in it. It's an odd thing. It's like a stage show that they then filmed and put on TV. But half of the stage show is like a big screen showing clips from the movie. And then whenever there's a song, they do a live action stage performance of the song. With new actors and stuff and dancing. And of course the other thing about it is that there's some new songs or expanded songs compared to what was in the film. But yeah, it's kind of an odd mixture. Oh, I do like that it has puppets. So like all the fish and sea creatures, or a lot of them, are played by puppets. That's cute. But yeah, I don't know. It was just like an anniversary thing, I guess. It certainly is not replacing the film, especially because most of it is the film. There's actually more film than I expected from something that purported to be a kind of stage show. Alright, so we're going to explore this level better. Find a pearl. Because I'm wasting my time here when I could be playing pinball. And that's annoying me. Maybe I can go down. Nope. Okay.
Hurry, Ariel. We have to save Prince Eric.
I know, Flounder. I know. Don't tell me what I have to do. I have to find Pearls. And I don't mean Pearl, the character from the animated series, who is like the bratty, stuck-up mermaid. She convinces them to sneak off and go clubbing when they're supposed to be having a quiet party at home. Let me see. Hole? Secret hole. Yes. That's 3 pearls. Good, good, good. Let's go.
There he is, Ariel.
Yeah, so it's pretty amusing how this game skips the entire second act of the first movie. How much did it skip of the second one? I think we probably have all the actual acts intact. Yeah. Okay, we have a new bonus game. So we're going to check that out, and then we're going to play some pinball. Okay. Right, what is this? Bubble game. Sorry if you can hear that sound. I think my neighbors are still trying to remove the spa bath from their backyard. And it's concreted in pretty well, because they've been at it for a while now. A few weeks, on and off. Okay, so... Okay, so if you hold down the circle button, the bubble gets bigger. Oh, I've gone red. What have I run out? What's going on? What? I don't understand. See, it was like holding down the button, but if you hold it too long, it pops. But then I just turned red at some point. Anyway, I guess you have to... What? Okay, so once the eels knock something off... Okay, a green one will sort of hold it in place, or if it's bigger, push it up. Otherwise you can hit X to do a shorter range one. So you want to be juggling them with the short range one while you build up a bigger one or a couple of bigger ones to then carry it. And then, oh, okay, this one's coming back down. Okay, so that's how this works. I guess we're in Ariel's grotto, and we're stopping Flotsam and Jetsam from destroying her collection. Fruitless effort, because it gets destroyed in the end anyway. It's actually destroyed in the animated series too, so implying that the movie horde is a separate horde. It's a late 3rd series episode where Ursula comes in and like enchants her treasures. I think it's called Ariel's Treasures. And makes them do mischief. Uh-oh. Yeah, so this is an interesting little like plate spinning, juggling kind of mini game thing. I feel like I should play all this just to see what the treasures are. But there's another 3 rounds to go. Oh, a metronome, lovely. So I guess I can't do too many green bubbles because I start to turn red and lose the ability after a while. Oh, we should be refreshing the bubbles on the other ones actually. Oh, but I didn't. Oh well, I failed. That's fine. That's the end of that. I want to play pinball, so let's get on with that. That was Little Mermaid 2 by Blitz Games. The PlayStation adaptation of the first 2 films. And a nice little job it did too. Okay, so let me switch this over. I'm sure you must be able to hear this noise. It's like a jackhammer or something. Now this sound is coming through a lot clearer, so I'm going to turn that down. Yeah, so here we go, Left Field Productions. Known for making various basketball and BMX games, as well as some poker games. But yeah, they're probably best known for making Excitebike 64, now available on the Wii U Virtual Console. And this is not their last pinball game, because they also did a 3D Ultra Pinball Thrill Ride, which is based on Hersheyland, I guess, which is an American theme park based on Hershey's chocolate. I don't really know. Alright, I don't know what the controls are. So, okay, so we have tilts. We have, yeah, this is very much like Pokemon Pinball. I would have pointed all this out, definitely, during my previous stream that I keep talking about, but, what does that say? Award? I'm trying to build up the award letters. Yeah, so Game Boy Color pinball game, scrolling screen, unlike the flip screen of Pokemon Pinball, so it's a bit more impressive. That sea star there is pretty impressive too, actually. It's kind of a mock pre-rendered 3D look to it. Grotto is lit. I love these pinball games, their nomenclature, saying lock is lit and stuff. It's like, out of context, that means nothing. It's complete nonsense. But it means that, like, the thing is lit up and that you have to then go activate it. Alright, so pinball. I have to remember that advice that one guy gave me during the Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire stream, and be more careful about my shots, right? Oopsie. It's alright, we had the saver active. We can see the trident at the bottom there, signifying that if the ball falls down, we will be saved. This is all stuff I know from Pokemon Pinball. Cool, cool. Okay, okay. We just gotta... Nope. I'm not good at pinball, guys. I'm sorry. But I know how to do that. Man, this is like really similar in how they've adapted the pinball style to the Game Boy Color. Although, of course, that was Jupiter. This is Left Field. Completely different companies. Now, what am I aiming for? Did that count? That didn't count. I think I've got one or two. I don't know. This is overwhelming. I don't know what's happening for a lot of this. Oh, I swear that should have worked. That's not what I'm looking for. I gotta roll around flounder. Like that, but just a bit to the left. Nuts. Even the Grotto is Lit font looks similar to the Pokemon Pinball font for on table like text. So I guess I lost a ball there because I didn't have the savers anymore. But the Grotto is still lit. Spell Ariel. How am I going to do that? Oops. What do you think of this chiptune version of Under the Sea? I must have heard a lot of those at this point. It seems like every other, or almost every Little Mermaid game has a chiptune rendition of Under the Sea or other. You know, you had the NES one, you had the Master System one. So for 8-bit chiptunes, does this beat them? I'm gonna say no, it doesn't. But it's still cool. Advance X. What does that mean? Shoot the spinner. Which spinner? Shark attack. Oh no. Spinner up the top. I see it. Or maybe the sea star? I don't know. I think it is a sea star because that thing is lit up. Ah! What am I doing? Okay, okay. Oh yeah, that is the spinner. I mistook that thing at the top for a spinner. It's not. I need to get... Oh, I could tilt. I should tilt. I should tilt more. That was one of the bits of advice that old mate pinball expert gave us, wasn't it? I just don't know how to do it properly. I've got left and A doing my flippers. So then like right tilts to the right. Down tilts down. Or maybe to the left. No, B goes to the left. Okay, so we have all directions of tilt if we want them. Oh, I'm dead. I'm on game over. Oh. Too bad. So yeah, there's a lot of different little mini games or whatever you call them in this different little events happening on the table that then you then have to do stuff with, I guess. So that's good. Oh no, what's going on? My controller's acting up again. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. This is bad, this is real bad. What's happening? Why are you waiting until now to do this, my friend, controller? Okay. I just wanted to see what the minigames were. I haven't unlocked them yet. There's a whole bunch of them themed after all these different characters. Tantalizing. We have one, we have Tip, and it's connected to the Game Boy printer? What is this? Oh no, Morgana froze Tip in a block of ice. I might have unlocked this last time I played it during that other stream, but maybe not. Oh, that's it. So yeah, these are very much like the bonus games in Pokemon Pinball, aren't they? Wait a minute, is that Urchin? No, that's Ariel. The hair's going around the back. Confused me. Yeah, so many minigames. I do like that it gives you an option of speed. That's nice. That's very nice. We'll give ourselves more balls this time. Yeah, 4-player. It's pass and play, the multiplayer. So if you select other people, like you play through a ball and then they do, I think is how it works. Given says it's great. And also there were a lot of 8-bit pinball games back in the day. And yeah, indeed there were. I've been meaning to play a few on stream, actually. There's one Pinball Quest on the NES that I'm particularly interested in. Okay. Tilt was doing nothing. I had to tilt upwards. So yeah, now that I've seen Little Mermaid 2, I feel I can appreciate this better. Got Dash over there. We got the older Flounder. Tip's lounging there on the right. Got Morgana and Melody up there. Lovely. Melody, of course, in her mermaid form. I think we've just saved a ball, so if we activate multi-ball later, that'll come into play. If I understand my pinball mechanics. Yeah, good stuff. I do enjoy this, and I like how they've implemented the scrolling of the screen, and it's so smooth too. Pokemon Pinball, of course, had a flip screen mechanism. If you went up, it would sort of redraw the entire screen, which could throw you off a little bit. Oh, I've just lost a ball. Yeah, it did throw me off sometimes. If the ball's coming fast from the top screen, and then it's flick bottom screen time, and you can sort of have maybe not enough time to react sometimes. Ah, Melody, hello. I like her as a character now. I welcome her to the pantheon of mermaid video game heroes. It's not a big pantheon, but they exist. Okay. Oops. Just trying to hold the ball so I could... Yep, I'm going to rewind that because I'm a cheat. I'm a coward and a cad. Okay, so what is this song? I think it must be the song from the sequel, like the key song, which is called something something Land and Sea? I don't remember. Okay, what have I done? I guess I've just locked another ball. So yeah, that's the kingdom up there, I guess. Reverse combo. Extra ball is lit. What is that? What's that face on the grid there? It's like a polar bear or something. Okay. Oh. Lucky. Okay, we gotta get in there somehow. Oops. Just trying to hold the ball. Oh! it's cool. I've been managing to actually do things, but mostly by fluke. Ah, the wall's up. That's an interesting little mechanic that ties into the plot of the movie. Like that area with the hole is blocked sometimes by a wall. Because in the film, there was a wall. That's actually one thing that Pokemon Pinball was completely missing. Maybe because of the whole flip screen thing. You never got multi-balls happening. But I realize now that with this one, yeah, it didn't feel concerned to have them all on screen at once. Some of them were actually doing stuff off screen while it was focusing on one. I just don't know how to use tilt. You know? Yeah, rewind. 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 I keep making the same mistake. Okay, cool. Nope. Okay, I can't actually get to that hole because of the... I'm sorry. I had to do that. I had no choice. Gibbon says that pinball board designs are fascinating. Yeah, I wish I knew more about them, but there's so many cool things you can do. And there's some people who are super into it. And the designers of them can be very, you know, talented, making intricate things and trying out interesting and ambitious things just with how ramps are arranged and stuff. But yeah, it is all very fascinating, and there are communities around pinball. And yeah, it's an interesting thing because historically it's been so tied to physical hardware, pinball tables, machines. There's been some, you know, more recently, like hardcore virtualization programs or like games, you know, video games that try to accurately replicate not only the real physics and feel of a pinball table, but actual existing machines. The other weird thing about pinball tables is that often they have a strange license attached to them. So, like, I don't remember if it's like the Aerosmith table or something is really well regarded for some reason because of its design. Like, and the design of the tables can be, you know, pretty separate from the license that's attached to them. So even if someone's not an Aerosmith fan, they really like the design of this pinball board. So yeah, it's kind of funny. But at the same time, you know, there's the one... oh, I already lost my multi-ball. But there's more. There's the one concept of how to do a pinball table, which is the one I just mentioned, trying to accurately replicate real life stuff. But I think what's more interesting to me is when a video game pinball has some fantastical elements to it. And stuff that a physical board simply can't do, because otherwise, why bother virtualizing it at all? You know? But you can have an interesting blend of the two as well. I think probably my favorite pinball video game is Metroid Prime Pinball, which for one thing uses both DS screens to have a proper vertically aligned table that looks good on the one system without flipping or scrolling. Okay, I'm gonna let that ball go through. So yeah, we return to different music now that we're not in that mode. Yeah, so the thing about Metro Prime Pinball is that a lot of it has some of the aesthetics and mechanics of actual pinball, but it also has things like aliens running around the board that you then have to shoot, and just a lot of Metroid-y stuff and really in-depth theming of the tables, quote unquote. And we have a new music track as well. I hate to say that the sequels songs aren't that memorable, but I actually just can't think what song this is, you know, which is kind of I'm not happy to say that. I'm disappointed that I don't recognize these songs, and that's on me. Hey, I freed the penguin. Oops. Oh man, that's a lot more realistic of a bear. Scary. So that's a cool thing that only these video pinball games can do, is having those bonus rounds where you go to a completely different board and you have mechanics like that, like breaking the ice. Just would not work on a real table, of course. Spell melody. I wish I could. M-A-L-O-D-I-E. Just kidding. There's a Y. Oh boy. Super kickback lost. I don't know what that means. Gibbon says the local brews and games shop has this one really advanced pinball machine that's like an RPG with quests and XP and progression and stuff. Really basic, but still fascinating. That sounds amazing. That is a really ambitious kind of pinball game, isn't it? That's really cool. It actually reminds me of one of my favorite actual pinball games, Lord of the Rings Pinball. I like these little scenes as well. Oh, what? A human. Okay, we have a new bonus game now. There is a brief scene where they go to a volcano and it erupts, but I guess I'm trying to save people from the lava? Yeah, there's nothing like this in the film with the people. Of course, it raises questions about where exactly this is taking place. Yep. What is that? Come on. Yes! We win! I did it! Yay! Cute. Very cute. 100 million points for that. Thank you very much. Very nice. Yeah, but Lord of the Rings Pinball, really cool. Sort of like you were saying, Gibbon, there's a bunch of different quests you do, but I guess it's not that different to the sort of thing we've seen already in this game. Like, you start on an event thing, and then it's like, oh, hit these targets around the place. But it just had nice, kind of like, you know, it's based on the movie. So it had these little, you know, the LCD screen on the top of a pinball table, just above the playboard. It had, like, you know, digitized scenes from the movie, like really heavily crunched voice clips. It was very cool. It's a good aesthetic. And yeah, you would like do Gimli's quest, and then Gimli would pop up and go, "Oh, dude, hit those things." Oh no, he would say a line from the movie, like, "Oh, you have my axe, blah blah blah," and then it would be like, "Hit these things to help Gimli," or whatever. So yeah, that kind of thing was cool. But and there were a bunch of different ones that you could do. But I don't know. I think that kind of stuff is maybe not that unusual for a pinball game. It's just I think it did it well, and also I'm not that familiar with too many different pinball tables, so that's just one that I experienced in real life and was very impressed by. Oops. Oh yeah, see, Undertow was blocking the side lane thing there. Yeah. And I still don't really know how to use tilt to do better. Oh yeah, also Gibbon said Metroid Prime Pinball and Sonic Spinball and Yoku's Island Express, all good examples of taking advantage of the medium being video games. But yeah, those are all really good examples in different ways of using pinball like mechanics and the way that pinball tables are designed, but then incorporating that into like a broader video game adventure thing. So yeah, and I like all of them in their own way. So yeah, it's cool. I think maybe the main reason I like pinball as a concept so much is because of Pokemon Pinball. But yeah, it always is good for me when a game uses pinball stuff to then make a cool video game with different kinds of stuff happening in it like that. So yeah, I'm just randomly shooting around here, aren't I? What's the time? Oh yeah, okay, well I should end soon. Oh, I've still got 3 balls left there. Gibbon says pinball seems like a difficult hobby to get into. Yeah, very reliant on either you having a small collection of your own tables, which is extremely expensive, and then you have to do maintenance yourself as well, and there's a whole community for aftermarket parts and stuff, and then you can really only have a limited number of them, or just what is around in your local area, or connecting with other pinball wizards and going to visit them or something, or having, I don't know, conventions and stuff. But yeah, very, very difficult to get into, and that's why those, if you are into the hardware, those virtualizations, the authentic recreations in digital form of pinball tables is so cool for that. So that can really facilitate it. But yeah, not something I really know too much about, unfortunately. What other pinball games have I played on stream? I did a Sonic Spinball run. That was really cool. It was pretty frustrating, actually, but I like the concept of the game. I played Sega... what's it called? Sonic Pinball Party. Yeah, see, this is the only time I think to use tilt is when the ball gets stuck. But again, the pros would be using it more, as I was told. Oops, there we go. Yeah, stuff. Oh boy. So real quick, I did mention I was going to talk about other Mermaid games. There's several of them. I've really played the vast majority of the significant ones on the stream already. Aquaria, the Little Mermaid games, Mermaid Madness on the C64 Amstrad CPC kind of thing. But yeah, I always mention that there's a lot of mermaid games in the visual novel space that I've never had much interest in, and including in that modern indie ones on itch. But I was sort of challenging myself to think about what are some games where mermaids appear in maybe a more minor role. And there's a mermaid NPC in Donkey Kong 64. There's one in The Goonies 2, which is the sequel to The Goonies. It's not based on a movie. Konami made a second Goonies game to follow up their movie adaptation. I didn't write down like where mermaids appear as NPCs, but there's got to be more than that. And I didn't actually look into the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean game for what the mermaid content in that was, after Gibbon brought up how much the 4th movie kind of plays off the Little Mermaid story. But there's got to be, you've got to be able to place the mermaid in that. I just don't remember in what capacity. But yeah, there's a few games I thought of where you actually have playable mermaids. A game that is sort of perennially on my back burner right now is Chrono Cross. This is an RPG that's a sequel to Chrono Trigger on the PlayStation, and it has tons and tons of playable party members that you then choose between. Ooh, Cloak and Dagger. What's this? Did I... what? Yeah, and one of the many party members you can get is a mermaid character. And whether, you know, they all play a part in the plot, and then some of them you can recruit if you're doing the right things and if you have not made certain choices in the story. So it's pretty frustrating, actually, to go through the game without using a guide on what characters to recruit. But when I read about that, I definitely vowed to make it part of my goal in this playthrough to recruit the mermaid character. What else? So there's some games where obviously you transform into a mermaid. Several of the Shantae games have Shantae doing a transformation dance and becoming a mermaid, including Half Genie Hero and Risky's Revenge on the what's that, DSiWare, and then it was ported to iPhone, and then eventually got a HD like remaster or re-release. I don't know what I'm doing. I just have a ton of balls. I'm just hitting them randomly. The only other one actually I've written down that I'm not just saying off the top of my head is a fan game or a fan hack of, I think it's Mario 3. So somebody made a fan hack called Peach and Daisy in the Ultimate Quest, where in the water levels, instead of getting a frog suit, or in some of, you know, whenever there's a frog suit, they instead have a mermaid suit. So that's cool. Something I should probably check out, considering I did a stream of games where people had hacked Pauline or Daisy into a playable role. Midna, get off my computer. Naughty cat. We don't want a repeat of that time you knocked it over. But yeah, I found out about that through a really interesting article, actually, that I do recommend reading, although sadly I have not written down the name of the person who wrote it or the name of the article. But it was a really interesting article about sort of, it was in the aftermath of Mike Mika doing the playable Pauline hack of Donkey Kong, and talking about sort of anti-feminism in the gaming community, and how the narrative around Mike Mika's hack was a father making, like, a man coming into this feminist space and making a game for his daughter, and that being presented as such a novel thing, even though women have been making ROM hacks to insert playable female characters for a long time, is the point of this article. And the coverage of this hack on gaming news sites was focusing on how it was like emblematic of the kind of toxic kind of anti-feminist mindsets that exist in the gaming sphere. And it was a really interesting read, and it made some good points. Sorry, I was distracted by a cat and I lost my ball. I wonder what happens when you feel that grid. Those grids, that's a very pinball thing. Pokemon didn't have it, but yeah, like doing these side objectives and then filling up this like bonus board. That's a cool thing. I don't know what it does. I guess it just, everything just gives you points in the end, is the what everything leads to in pinball. But in games like this, that you then have the added sort of motivation or like reward of having those bonus tables that you can unlock. And there seem to be different ways of doing that in this game and getting different mini games out of it. Okay, so is this my last ball? We must be getting to the end. I need to finish up soon, and I have to stop this cat from climbing all over everything. So yeah, let me see. I've gone on long enough. I'm going to find that article real quick so I can at least say its name on stream, but that's going to be the end of this stream. So yeah, thanks for joining me. This has been a really cool experience that I've had over the last few weeks of Little Mermaid games that I have been giving attention to finally, and I found it very rewarding. And I hope you've enjoyed following along my hashtag mermaid streams. Okay, so the article is called Ness Rom Hacks and Discourses on Gender Anxieties by Rachel Simone Weil on the No Bad Memories blog. So search like No Bad Memories, Rum Hacks or something. Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks very much for joining me. I've had a lot of fun here. And yeah, check out Little Mermaid spin-off media, won't you? And yeah, again, use Daring to Dream as like a guide for what exists out there, and what you can get into. And yeah, I'll see you next time with something else. We're done with the mermaid games for now. Or are we? ... Question mark. I haven't decided yet. So until I do, goodbye. Thank you for watching. And have a safe week. Bye.